Every day is different. You know, an adventure every single day, you never know what's going to come in through the door. It's difficult and it's rewarding, and it's the broad spectrum of every emotion that you could possibly feel. There are a lot of animals that come in for a broad amount of reasons, whether somebody cannot care for them anymore or they're running astray out in the community, and this is where we house them all. I feel like society has definitely gone towards a mentality of instant gratification, and a lot of ways animals are put into that category where you see this really adorable puppy and you want it, and you walk into a shelter and you feel for all these animals that don't have homes and you're like, I want to fix this. But a lot of people aren't thinking big picture, so they see this 1-year-old dog and they aren't thinking, you know, where am I going to be in 10 years? 15 years? Am I going to have kids? Is this dog going to do good with kids? You know, if I live in an apartment, does this apartment allow this breed, or this landlord allow this breed? Or, you know, what happens if this dog gets injured? Do I have the money to pay for that? Because medical care for animals is extremely expensive. And when these answers are beyond what people's capabilities are, the answer for a lot of people is to surrender a pet. And you know, they'll circle back to it later. So we're essentially perpetuating the cycle in a lot of ways because of that. The most difficult parts about working in an animal shelter, I would say, are dealing with the lack of space. Our kennels in this shelter, we have 122 kennels in the entire shelter. So even if we double up, at the very most, I've seen about 300 animals in this shelter. If we get in those situations, we are looking to other shelters to say, hey, do you have space? We're calling rescues. We have too many right now. Are you able to take any off our hands? So we're trying all these things before getting to the euthanasia part. Typically, the reason that we're euthanizing is first and foremost for behavior or health. If we cannot handle them, or we do not feel like they are going to be safe for the public, then we are not apt to put them up for adoption. That would be irresponsible of us as a city entity. And city management looks to us to make sure that we're making those right decisions. We're always wanting to have enough space available, and once you start developing those relationships with those animals, it's hard to take a step back and think rationally when it comes to the rest of the animals that are coming in the door. We do a lot when it comes to trying to get them out of the front door instead of having to make those tough decisions for euthanasia. And we do a really good job here. We don't have a time frame for how long they need to stay here. It hasn't been like that for a very long time, and I would say that the majority of the shelters in this area are very similarly aligned. There is such a thing as going a little territorial over your kennel. It's this loud, crazy, chaotic environment that can make them a little nuts. So you can imagine, like, a dog acting like this, it just turns people off to want to even take them out. But it kind of hurts them in that arena because they show like that. So people are looking for, you know, the quiet ones like this that are just pretty calm. Whereas once you get them out, they could be the complete opposite. The same thing goes where these guys can be looking terrible, but then on the outside they could also be the complete opposite. So it makes it difficult. Once you get them outside of that environment that they're so familiar with and they become so protective over, you see a whole different animal. It is imperative that adoption takes precedent over breeding. Breeding is a big money maker for people. And breeding, there's a place in the world for it. But a lot of people feel like getting a shelter dog, you're not getting a quality animal. And that couldn't be farther from the truth. If somebody's interested in adopting a pet, they come in and they can visit with them. We always encourage, if they have pets at home, to bring them here so we can do a meet and greet and make sure that the pets are going to mesh well. And if everything goes well and they're wanting to adopt this animal, whether it be a dog or a cat or a hamster, whatever we might have here, and then because the animals are all sterilized and vaccinated and fully vetted, the animal can go home the same day. Our adoption fee is $90, but when you're looking at all of what you're getting, $90 is nothing. We have a Facebook page. Anything that we have to ask the public or tell the public, we get on that and start promoting in that arena. We have volunteers here at the shelter. They're usually the ones that are taking the pictures, putting them on Pet Finder, getting their profiles all set up on Pet Finder, and then also putting them on Facebook.